Hello dear friends, welcome to this video. We are the 7th of November 2021. So today the situation, I think, is beginning to get better, even in it doesn't look like that way. We have been in October, from my point of view, my feelings very close to a disaster. So now I made 2 videos that I delete later, and it's quite some change. So we have to be aware that there's a fierce battle between the luminous forces and the evil forces, and it's a battle who lasts for thousands of years. And the important thing to understand with evil forces is that they will continue to do evil things until the end, and the evil forces they never surrender. We are at the beginning of a new time. So I opened the time of karma in the 8th of August 2021. So it begins in a very surprising way. I will explain maybe at the end of this video the timing of this opening. Before that, I will begin by the beginning, how it's all this issue of time of karma. So I was telling in the video I did that this is the Prophet Abraham who told me to open this time. Is it really open? I'm not sure of that, but I was told to do it. So it's not certain in some way that it opened or not. So my relation with the great prophet and patriarch of the Prophet Abraham begins the 4th of October 2020. So in the beginning of October 2020, it was, I have some intuition that the Quran, this holy book I have at home, I had at home, I have still at home, was calling me. So the 4th of October in the evening, I took this book and I continued to read the Surah number 2, the cow. It's a quite long surah. So while very in the beginning of my lecture, of my reading, the Prophet Abraham connect to me, the first he decided to connect to me. I was doing nothing special. The first thing he told me is, I will help you. And then he asked me to read, to finish to read the Surat number 2. So I did. While I was reading, he asked me to go to Hebron, where's the city of Hebron, where the grave and the temple of the patriarch, where the grave of Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Jacob, and the wife of Isaac and Jacob, Rebecca and I'm sorry, I forget, Judith maybe. So in this, while reading the Surat number 2, there's a part they are speaking of magical things, doing 7 things a time, or 7 times the tour of a holy place. So because it was COVID, confinement, impossible to go to Israel and Hebron, I had the idea to visualize Hebron in the south of Jerusalem. So I did 7 times the tour of graves and the temple of the patriarch in my head. And when I finished to read the Surat number 2, I understand that at the end of this Surat there are some prayer of protection. And when I finished it, I felt better, because during September I was not feeling, September 2030, I was not feeling very peaceful, in a peaceful mind. I did my spiritual coming out in Turkey, in my birth village, the 25th of August, and so in September, strangely, I lost my peaceful mind. I understand later that I faced a spiritual attack from my own clergy, this fucking evil, stupid, arrogant Tibetan clergy. Because I sent this video, the video of spiritual coming out, to the 5 head of Tibetan clergy, and also to the Dalai Lama. So I made a video about him, and I will reveal what I think about him in this video later. So by reading the Surat number 2, it stops the black dark machine I was facing on September. So this is the context in which the Prophet Abraham protected me, because I was in difficulty. I show my face publicly, so it was easy to target me with some dark black magic. It's certainly not a projection of my mind, because I was practicing Dzogchen for 2 years, and it was working very well. So, and when I finished to read the Surat number 2, I felt peaceful. So it stopped clearing something. And I did not imagine this connection with Prophet Abraham because I felt his energy, and I can tell you that it's a quite very impressive energy. So it's you feel a great spiritual power. What is very impressive first is the power you feel from the energy of Prophet Abraham. A great, like a burning sun energy. You know, the energy of the Buddha Shakyamuni is really great. It's a profound, deep, very peaceful, very spaceful, luminous energy, down to earth. Quite an impressive energy. Then some purity also on the energy of Buddha Shakyamuni. So the energy of Buddha Shakyamuni is linked to some peaceful, spaceful, very luminous, down-to-earth energy. It's like a ray of light, you know. We can feel this kind of energy when the light comes from our window. But the energy of Prophet Abraham, there's a lot of burning, very powerful, great spiritual energy. It's also very down-to-earth energy, very structured energy. It's quite impressive to feel that. It's very expensive, and you cannot imagine that such a spiritual energy could exist. So, because the Prophet Abraham, he was a great prophet, but he was just a human being, and but he reached at the end of his life this great spiritual state. So it shows us that our possibility to awaken and to reach some great spiritual state is much more greater than we think. You know, when before feeling that energy, I felt the energy of Buddha Shakyamuni and Padmasambhava, and it was already great energy. But that energy is it's something, you know. So it happened in a very simple way, you know. It's like you are in trouble in the street and somebody see that you need help, and he comes to you and proposes you to help you. There was no special energy and no special experience. It happened in a very simple way. And at the end of when I finished to read this thread, Prophet Abraham asked me again to go to Hebron, and I asked him why, and he told me in English, because the conversation is out of any language. It's also a little bit surprising to be able to communicate out of any language. But with time, when I asked him why he wants me to go to Hebron, he told me in English, "I will teach you fate." So when he told me that, I didn't understand, and I was thinking why he's telling me such things, because I'm talking to Abraham, and I have faith, and I respect, I have confidence in the word of the prophets. I didn't understand at that moment, but he was talking about an email that I wrote the 4th of July 2020. So full mind before I wrote an email to some Buddhist teachers. I was telling them that I was giving them some advices, and I was telling them that maybe I was Al-Mahdi. In October, I had any information of or knowledge about the Jewish prophecy. I learned later in winter, I think, 2020. And I told them that the true meaning of faith is confidence. So he was mocking me gently because me, coming from the Buddhist tradition, I was talking about faith. I was talking about faith in a universal way. But he was a gentle and joking way to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking in this email, and I don't know nothing about faith in general, and in Buddhism he was also joking because in Buddhism we don't use faith. We use devotion, the word devotion, for the Buddha Shakyamuni, Padmasambhava, or the Guru. We don't really use the word faith, and it was a way to tell me that monotheism is a different tradition, and actually I felt that the Prophet Abraham worried about what I could do in the future of monotheist tradition, so it was a way to protect it. And after that, when I finish that, at the end of the meeting, he told me to be humble and to respect the Prophet. And this connection, this communication with him in this evening of 4th of October finished like that, and I was grateful. I was just thinking he was giving me spiritual teachings about humility and respect of a different tradition from mine, because I'm coming from the Buddhist tradition, and I was very grateful to that. And because my Dzogchen teacher and any teacher at all, nobody gives me teaching about humility. No, we are reading that in some books, but so it was. I was grateful for that, and this connection finish like that this evening. I was thinking that it was all, and but the next day, the 5th of October 2021, he granted me, he blessed me and he connect me to the energy of monotheism and the energy of the Prophet. So I had this connection. clearly, it was I was not aware at that time that it was the beginning of a long-lasting relation, and it was necessary. And after that relation, I understand that I have to study monotheism, because if I have to teach to Jewish, Christian, or Muslim people, you have to know what we are talking about. And this little joke when he made about our teacher fate, it really happened for almost 1 year later, or 11 months later exactly. So 6 September of 2021, I made a video about that. I was granted, it was given to me the meaning of fate. So it is not confidence. It is no hope and no fear. No hope, no fear, it means it has also it has a meaning of that you are in the palm from the monasticism, so you are in the palm, in the hand of God. So you surrender to God, and you accept what happened. So you don't hope something, or you are not fearing something. That doesn't mean that you have no project. You can have project, but you have no fear and no hope that it will succeed or not. From the Buddhist point of view, we can say that we surrender and we let go of all our ego. So we connect to the primordial wisdom, and it is said that in Dzogchen, the Dzogchen, it is called the path of a great perfection. In some way, the fate in monotheism is linked to Dzogchen, because we said that in Dzogchen we said that everything is perfect, and in monotheism that the plan of God is perfect, and we surrender. In monotheism, we surrender to that, and in Dzogchen we let go of everything, and we are in harmony with divine plan. But the plan could change. For example, I had another conversation with Prophet Abraham. He told me that he will send me 12 men coming from Sahara to help me in my work, spiritual work, for the well-being of humanity. And I said, okay. I said, could you send me also 12 women coming from Sahara? And he told me that Sahara was too old, too tired for that. He was joking, of course. And you see that I was not really happy of answer, because why not send in 12 women coming from Sahara, from the lineage of Sahara? or why not 6 men and 6 women coming from the great lineage of this great woman, Sarah, this the great wife of Prophet Abraham. So he see that I was disappointed by that, even if I have to be happy, to be honored to such a great help. And he told me after that that the woman will come with, from the Buddhist side. So it's like an alliance, an unity between the monetists who provide the man and the Buddhists who provide the woman. It's great, it's a problem of balance, because there have been so many great women in monotheism, and a few of them have been accepted as prophet, I think. The mother of Jesus Christ is a very important woman in monotheism. She's the virgin mother of this great prophet, Jesus Christ. There have been a lot of holy women, and one of these great holy women was a disciple, a very close disciple, and the love of Jesus Christ, Maria Magdalene. The mother of Jesus Christ also was a great, great woman, and the Quran paid homage to her, and as one of the greatest, or maybe the greatest woman in monotheism. Sarah also, I'm sure she was a great, great wife. So it's unfair that all these great women who have faith, pure faith, have been enough recognized, and so we should pay homage to all of these great women. But in Buddhism, you know, it's not. We have the same problem now. Buddha Shakyamuni and Padmasambhava teach that there's no difference between a man and a woman for enlightenment. But we have this Tibetan clergy who is the worst patriarchal, misogynic clergy, I think, of all time, and the most I think one of the most arrogant and narcissistic clergy. Well, it's I will do a video about them. You know, they deserve a full 1 hour video about all the craziness in Tibetan clergy. It's becoming almost out of control. So one day I have to fuck them all. Anyway, so I was talking about Abraham and that, and so I asked him. I was asking him. We have this talk about these 12 men coming from Sarah to help me, and he helped me. Many women come from Buddhist side to help me. Great, but after that, after a few weeks, I felt that my request was accepted. So 12 women coming from Sarah will also be some clothes, flower, and that will help me in my work for peace and justice for humanity. So it showed that the original plan, it could change. And it could change for the best, and it also could change for the worst. And that is exactly what the evil forces try to do, but even the evil forces, they have, how can I say, they are now very powerful in Earth. We, the luminous forces, I think we have take back the control of that. And we have a lot of work. We have to fight them. So let's go on of this relation with Abraham. So I think it was on autumn 2020, autumn winter 2020. I didn't remember exactly. I was thinking about this. This travel of night of Prophet Muhammad to the mosque Al-Aqsa. Al-Aqsa means very far, the very far mosque. So people, the scholars think that it refers to Jerusalem. So the Archangel, you know the story, the Archangel Gabriel lead Prophet Muhammad to Mosque Al-Aqsa, and then from this Mosque Al-Aqsa he leads him to the seventh heaven. So I asked the Prophet Abraham to lead me to the seventh heaven and to God, and he told me that the seventh heaven is seven level or dimension of reality, and he could not lead me to God because I could burn. So because there's too much power, like you ask somebody to, oh, I would like to see the sun closer. Can you lead me to the sun? And you got too closer to the sun, you literally burn. So after I asked him that, I think 1 week later, I have initiation to the dimension of heaven. I don't know. So the Prophet Abraham make me an initiation, an introduction to the dimension of heaven. 1 week later. It's quite surprising. It's you are experimenting the world, but it's like the world manifesting in a completely new way to you. I have to say that I don't know which level it was, because what is really how can I say, characteristic when you are in this dimension, there's no more quality you can that can define this dimension. There's no the concept of high and low, great and not great, doesn't apply to this dimension. You cannot say it is luminous or dark. It is the main what we can say. It's beyond duality, the dual concept. So um, so I experiment that, um, and it was very simple thing. You have no, it was not not a kind of awakening, because you feel not special relief, um, no special light, no special energy. Just all your concept of a world, it just disappear, and you experiment the world in a new way without any concept. So after that, in the winter, the 31 of December, I wanted to send a message by video to the Dalai Lama. So I did it, and I was feeling that something was wrong with lineage of the Dalai Lama. And in this video, I told him and to the Tibetan clergy that I was clearly feeling that the lineage Lama was an obstacle to Buddhism, to Tibetan people. And I had ordered him to resign for the Losar 2021 in February. So I sent this video to his secretary, the 31st of December exactly. And I know that he got the message, because in the evening of the 1st of January, so the beginning of the new year, I had a very powerful how can I say, dark forces, evil attack. And I clearly felt that it was coming from India, from the Dalai Lama and people around the Dalai Lama. It was very surprising for me. I was not expected such things, but I understand that the Dalai Lama and the people around him will not be happy, but I order to make an end to his 800 years lineage. But I'm a wisdom activity of a Buddha, and I'm a heart manifestation of Padmasambhava. So I represent the both branch of Buddhism, Tibetan and Indian, coming from Buddha Shakyamuni and Padmasambhava. So I could ask and order him to do that. And this little bitch of Dalai Lama, he just has to say, okay, no problem, I resign. Because I am supposed to be the manifestation of Padmasambhava, who dispel obstacles and tame negative forces. So I can feel the obstacles on earth, and I can feel also what can unblock things. So when I ask the Dalai Lama to resign, it's not to bother him. I do it for the well-being, for benefit of Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetan people. So I have to say that also that I sent my video of my spiritual coming out to the Dalai Lama the 25th of August. So he and the people around me knew very well who I was. Also, I have to say that I sent a letter when I was 40 to Pema Wangya Rinpoche. And I was asking them to do some reform, and they did absolutely any reform in 7 years. I was questioning the issue of to continue the lineage of the Dalai Lama. Because now there's a wisdom activity of a Buddha and an art manifestation of Padmasambhava, so there's absolutely any reason that this lineage go on, because the Dalai Lama is a spiritual and political leader of Tibet, Tibetan Buddhism, and Tibetan people. And I'm the sole legitimate leader of Tibetan Buddhism, maybe not Tibet. And I'm clearly iron by him. I have to tell that also that legitimacy of a Dalai Lama come from its tradition, of course, but also it is said that the Dalai Lama is a manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. But it's not true. It is a lie. It's just the Dalai Lama said that half of the tulku of in Tibetan Buddhism they are fake, but he forgot to say that he's also a fake tulku. So the leader of Tibet, Tibetan Buddhism, Tibetan people, and all these stupid, evil, arrogant tulku Tibetan system is a fake tulku. So his legitimacy is come from tradition, and they create this the first Dalai Lama was not accepted and recognized as a manifestation of Avalokiteshvara. It comes later to legitimate his spiritual power. You know that when a political leader become a leader in a country, and then because Buddhism was spreading a lot in Tibet, and if you want to legitimate your political power, you create a fake spiritual legitimacy. So they had the idea to create that, and I dare the actual little beach of Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, ocean of wisdom, ocean of shit. I dare him to say that he's a manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, really. So anyway, I dare also the people who are looking at video and who do not believe what we are listening, but I dare the 5 head of Tibetan theology, but I'm not a wisdom activity of a Buddha and a heart manifestation of Padmasambhava. I would like to hear that publicly. They will never do that because they have some kind of respect. Maybe they are afraid of doing it, or they are waiting for more maturity, maybe. Maybe they are waiting that things become completely crazy. So the 1st of evening of January I have attack from a leader of Tibetan Buddhism. And I'm supposed to be a hard manifestation of Padmasambhava. So I'm alone in my little apartment in the north of Paris, and I have a powerful spiritual dark attack. I felt that, and I was hopeless, and I didn't know what to do. I never faced such a powerful spiritual attack. So I connect to Abraham. I asked Abraham an advice, and he told me to use my speech to stop it. And and I did it. I made a new video, and I told this little bit of dilemma that I disgrace him, and just by telling I disgrace him, it's cut the attack. Just a few words about the disgrace. Disgrace, very interesting. It's a paradoxal thing. You cut through the attack, you disgrace, but what you are doing is if disgrace is not like, it's not a curse. You bless. En fait, the main thing with disgrace is paradoxal, is to you bless, you put some good luminous energy, and it cuts the attack. So I guess this is the first time that the power of sword I was able to use these magical swords that appears when I was 22, 23. So it's very interesting that it's the Prophet Abraham who helped me to unblock the power of its swords. Also, I have to say that after this attack of the dilemma, I begin to make some critiques on the Instagram account of a Tibetan little beach based in United States, and I had attack from him. What is interesting is this second attack of his Tibetan teacher, Dzogchen Tibetan teacher by the United States. It is unclear, not clear. It was a black attack or it was some kind of it was different maybe. It was maybe a violent way to give me some spiritual teaching. It is linked to what my ex-Dzogchen teacher advised me. He advised me not to fight the Tibetan clergy, but to englobe them, to embrace them. And I asked him, what does it mean? He told me you have to englobe them like Dharmakaya, meaning you don't fight directly the Tibetan clergy because it creates violence and karma on violence. So he advised me to progress of the path and to become fully awakened, so it will I will conquer them by my enlightenment. So I didn't listen to him, and I was fucked by them, but I succeeded to stop most of his attack. It was a little bit tiring, but it created some damage in my life, because some people could contact with me very surprisingly and suddenly. So anyway, so let's go on with the beautiful relation with Abraham. It was a very simple human relation. It was a kind of father and son relation, and also a relation of student and teacher, because I'm on the path, and I was fortunate to have all this advice and teaching from Abraham, who has a great sense of humor, and great wisdom, and great power. So I have to say that clearly it's opened some new power, new perspective in my path, because clearly it's much more what is the ultimate truth. It's a little more complicated than we think. So I was granted also in May some new power, the iron wings. I will talk about that later. This iron wings has power of purification and destruction. So I can create destruction to purify when it is needed only. So last June, I asked the Prophet Abraham, I had the idea the Prophet Abraham to ask something, because I knew the legend that the Prophet Abraham and Moses and some other prophet could speak to God. So I was personally skeptical to that possibility, because the God, ultimate truth, primordial wisdom is infinite. You cannot, it's out of space and time. You cannot look at it somewhere or in our. So how can you communicate with something so much so great and infinite? So how the communication between the human people who are in a finite world, delimited world. We have birth, we live and we die. Even our language is limited. Clearly the mystic of all spiritual traditions explain very well that there's no word to explain some mystical experience. So how something with limited in the finite world can speak to something which is unlimited, out of time and space. I was thinking that it was, I can understand that there could be some communication. Myself, I have some revelation. But to have a relation with God. So when I asked him that last June 2021, it was both because of his legend and so I asked him to teach me, and he told me, okay, I will teach you. And he told me that like, oh, it's very simple, I will teach you. So he explained me the protocol to how to speak to God, to the God of Abraham. It's very simple. So I did the protocol, and I find myself in an empty space. There's absolutely nothing. It's like you are in space, There's nothing, there's no spiritual energy, no light. It's quite gray and dark. And there's Prophet Abraham in my left side, 30, 40 or 50 meters in my left side. During all the meeting with the Lord, he stayed silent. So I have one knee on the floor, because protocol wants that when you ask a meeting with God, we have one knee on the floor for the respect. And I stay silent, because you make a call by staying silent. It is part of the protocol. And I wait, and after just a few, maybe 1 minute, I felt the presence. Clearly you feel that there's something great in front of you, and but you feel no special energy, nothing. You just feel a great presence, and it makes you feel small. You have something really great in front of you. So it's quite different with the relation of Abraham. Abraham is a very great prophet, but he's a human being like me. So when you are facing his presence, you feel small, because it's something really great in front of you. So I asked this meeting to make the request. I made my request to the Lord, and the Lord answered me. He asked me to renounce something. I'm surprised, but I did it. I renounced very quickly to that. And then he asked me I have to say that I made a request for even in earth, So he asked me to renounce to even in earth. So he's asking me to renounce to the goal of my request. I'm very surprised and shocked and sad that he asked me to do that, and I'm not able to do it. It's a mix of sadness and anger, and I feel hopeless. And I told him that even the Lord doesn't accept my request, I will fight for peace and justice anyway. Then I had the courage or the audacity to ask him again to accept my request. And the Lord accepted. And the Lord told me that what will be granted to me, He can take it back at any moment. The metaphor, clear metaphor, that it was like a fil suspendu, it can disappear like that, very easily. So I said nothing, and I left the meeting. I have to say that honestly, when I left this first meeting in June 2021, I was angry and sad. I was in a bad mood. I was tired and fed up of the world situation. I wanted to that things change, and nothing special was happening, but many things happened with this relation with Abraham. And I didn't understand that the Lord was giving me a spiritual teaching, that to work for, even in earth, you need total renouncement, total non-attachment, means total letting go of your ego, that brings you full blessing and power and wisdom and compassion. It unblock everything you need to do it. And also, I was angry because he told me that he can take him back at any moment. I felt it like he was not trusting me, but of course, if you don't act correctly, of course it is taking back the law of karma. It is justice, it is fair. So if you act correctly, everything will be okay. If you don't act correctly, of course, things can turn bad. It's fair, it's justice. And we'll stop the video in just a few minutes. So just a few comments about this, how it is possible, how this meeting happened, because the situation is a human being in the finite world, limited world, who has a discussion with something infinite out of time and space. So how is it possible? The first thing is surprising, because we have a lot of preconception. I had a lot of preconception coming from my Buddhist education. So for us, the primordial wisdom, Dharmakaya Rigpa, is something. And for the monotheism, it is someone. So, but doesn't mean that the monotheism is more true, closer to the truth than Buddhism. It is something, I think, both are true. We cannot tell that God is someone because it's not someone like us. It's not human. But clearly, it seems that it is much more about something, something neutral, you know. So there's a kind of mind, a great mind or great spirit, and then could be from some man or woman. It can happen to women also. They could have direct communication. It is surprising that so it could happen because it happened to me and it happened later. I have several meetings. I ask several meetings because you ask some meetings with the Lord and you have the condition is that you have something important to ask. You know, you don't bother the Lord for something stupid or not important. The last time I had a communication discussion with the Lord, I did this protocol the Prophet Abraham teach me for 3 times. But the last time I did not this protocol and I was able to speak directly with the Lord. So it's kind of new. I can say development in the relation with the Lord. Clearly, I'm getting closer and it's getting warmer. It's great, yeah. Because in the beginning it was quite a cold thing, you know, because you face something really great in front of you, and you feel small and it's intimidating. And it is the Lord who decide that and to become warmer with me. You know, like it's like a father or mother becoming warmer with his child. We are all the creation, the child of a Lord, of a Creator, of a great mind. So we are the special creation close to the heart of the Lord. And we are hopefully close to the earth becoming heaven. So now we are in a kind of half heaven, even half hell. For some people, unfortunately, they feel it like hell because I can think. We can think and praying for the Uyghur people, the Yemen people, people who are suffering with this stupid war in the Middle East. And there's many people in the world who suffer of oppression. They have been jailed, they have been burnt, tortured, because they just want more freedom and they fight unfairness. to become one, because one human is oppressed. It's all humanity is oppressed. It is also one human, one godly creation with oppressed, and we are all brother and sister, and we should see ourselves like that. We are different, of course. Also, of course, we are different. If we have been the same, it will be horrible. So difference doesn't mean to be separate. It's mean to communicate and to appreciate the richness of a creation. There are, for example, so many flowers. So do it bothers us that there are so many different flowers, beautiful flowers? No, we appreciate it. So when it comes to human, because we are different, we should fight, really. It's stupidity, it's a grasp of some stupid conception. So I will talk about that later. So I said that I will talk about the beginning of this video and the timing of the beginning of the time of karma. So if really we are in the beginning of the process of heaven on earth, we have to be aware that dark forces, they fight to stop it. So they will fight fiercely. They will give all their energy to fight that. I mean, even in Earth, because they are fighting for that for thousands of years. So it is also perfect according in harmony with all the prophecy that the earth will be full of infernals. People will lose faith because the dark forces they fight so that the people lose faith and they lose wisdom, they lose compassion. And we, the luminous forces, will fight for more wisdom, more compassion, more fraternity, isn't it? So the dark forces, they unify, they fight fiercely for against even in Earth, and we have to fight to become stronger. So how do we become stronger? We have to unify. It is linked to the pillar number 1, becoming one, because the dark forces, they try to divide us, and actually they succeed. There's many people, many political or spiritual, some spiritual leader, they divide people. And it weakens the luminous forces, yeah. And we have to unify and be more wise, more compassionate. About the timing, I have to say that dark forces begin to make a very powerful attack in July 2021. When I felt that, I didn't believe it. They attack Earth and also even the dark forces begin to attack a lot of dark angels. They begin to attack even. They begin. They do the attack first, and this is why I guess Prophet Abraham asked me to open the time of karma in the beginning of August. So I did it in the 8th of August 2021. And when I open the time of karma, what happens is you have heaven, the dimension of heaven. You have Earth is beginning to join. So let's imagine that in the dimension of heaven you have attack of dark forces. What is happening? We will have a fierce, powerful, difficult battle to face. And I guess this is the mystery of the prophecy about this powerful fake message. So imagine that you have a powerful dark angel in heaven. When you open the time of karma, what happens? This powerful dark prince of evil, he has the possibility to manifest in earth. So by doing this opening clearly create the possibility of the dark forces, this dark angel and the peace of this prince of evil to come to earth. So when I did that, and I was not aware of doing that, I just understand that recently. I guess normally it's a great plan, but we have to worry a little bit. The situation is open, and in October we have been close to a disaster, and it can happen again. So you have to be careful on what we are doing and what we are not doing. Yeah, trust you well, and trust yourself. And I will do my best, and I will do what I was asked to do. But we have to the people who are watching this video, they have to be aware of their responsibility and to do what is needed. So when I'm talking and asking something, you have to listen to me, please. So thank you, take care, see you for the next video.